I think, hello, everybody. So it's so nice to see you. I'm so glad you're all here. And let's uh, let's start this session with a moment of silence. I always think it's really nice to start just by arriving here and getting ourselves in that frame of mind. This session, we're going to be talking about that gap that we have between what we know is to be right and how we actually live. And that gap is going to be talked about today in this session. So let's get our head in the game and just quiet down for a sec and take a couple of deep breaths in. Okay. All right. So, so my name is Jiva. In case you guys don't know who I am, I think everybody knows who I am. I'm not sure. Yadava, we know each other. Yes. Very good. I'm Philip. I know Tinika. I know Alex. I know. So, um, so I wanted to just first actually because we're a small group, which is really nice. Let's just introduce ourselves. Um, why don't we start with Alex and just unmute, say hi, and let me know what you know about this day's session and what you might want to take with you and what you're looking forward to.
Hey, I'm Alex. I'm calling in from Nashville. I met Jiva at
Yeehaw!
TV in 2025, January 2025. Um, saw still been on the ACA chat room like messages. It's like a lovely way to start my day. I've been in the ACA program. Been going to some in-person meetings in Nashville, and it's changing my life. So, and I found recovery through Jiva in India. Um, And so I'm walking in totally blind this morning, other than it was something you were hosting. So
Okay, fantastic. I'm super happy you're here. Um, For those who don't know, I also work in the recovery field. Um, this is sessions that are generally open to everyone and not just for recovery. These are just great things, topics that we all have in our lives, things to help us just get a higher consciousness. Okay, Yadava, you're up.
Hi, Krishna Madhavi. I know you from your previous session which you took under Govardhan. That was when emotions meet spiritual practice. And I'm now looking forward to learn what is the gap between what we know and how practices can we reduce that.
Oh, it's difficult to hear you, Prabhu, but you want to try that one more time?
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yeah, it's just really bad. Do you guys hear him, or is it just my acoustic that's really bad? Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult. I think your headphones aren't. Um,
Is it any better now?
oh, yes, way better.
Yeah.
Way better. Okay, let's do that again.
I attended your last session which you took under Govardhan Eco Village, which was when emotions meet spiritual practice. And I really liked that session. And from that session, I know you. At that time, I was Yuvraj Kaushal, and now I'm initiated. And today, I'm looking forward to know
Congratulations.
the gap between what we know and how we can practice and how we can reduce that gap. So, yeah, that's why I'm here.
Fantastic. I'm very happy you're here, Yadava. Welcome. Okay. I don't know if Tinika is available. Are you available, Miss Tinika? I think not. She's probably not available. Philip? Oh, Tinika is available.
Yeah, sorry.
No
I
worries.
I'm in my garden, so I had my gloves on and I couldn't take them off very quickly. So, but here I am. Yeah. So yeah, I am Tineke and I work for Bhakti Recovery Group. I do Seva for Bhakti Recovery Group. So and I met you also last year in real person at Govardhan Eco Village, and it was very nice. And you are inspire me a lot by what you teach and how you live. And we also became friends, I can say, I guess. So yeah, and I find all the sessions from Bhakti Discovery Group until now very helpful for me because it's really practical for my daily life. And yeah, today I hope to learn to maybe listen even more to what my body says and what's good for me. And so, yeah, I think that's it.
Thank you, Tinika. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
being here.
Thank you.
Okay, Philip.
Yeah, hi. Parikshit
Hey.
Das here. Um, so we don't know each other. We haven't met in person, but I think I've seen you on Wisdom of the Sages, and
Mhm.
I was actually inspired by Tineke to come on the show or to like
I
to
hear you're from
listen. And
Holland, no? You're from the
yeah,
Netherlands?
yeah.
Yes, I hear this.
My accent is very thick, right?
No, it's not. It really
No.
isn't. It's very slight.
All right, all right. Well, yeah, I'm just here to listen, and it's my first time here. I'm just curious what's been like, what discussion will enter. I don't know. Just yeah, just a first timer and listening.
Well, I'm really glad you're here. Thank you for coming, and I hope that it can give you something that's worth to take with you in your daily life.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope so too. In the meantime, I'm juggling two teenagers here, so I might be on and off for some time, but I try to be here for the full session.
Okay, fantastic.
All
Thank you.
right.
Thank you, Parikshit. Dana, Miss Dana K.
Hi, Bull. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I'm sorry, I'm driving if my connection's a little wonky. I'm so
Don't
grateful.
worry. Don't be driving and don't be driving and confusing. Don't worry about it.
Driving and confusing. No, that's not a good combo.
Whoops, where am I going?
I think this is really great for today. I really need this session today so bad because even though it's Mother's Day here in the States, there's a lot that goes with that. And I think that this is really, just some tough emotions and tough things. And I think that this will really help today. So I'm just grateful to be here to have this support and this Sangha and association today. So thank you for doing that and happy Mother's Day to you. But I'm
Oh,
grateful that you took the time out of this day to do this. So
oh, thank you, Dana. And I'm so happy you're here.
if I totally missed the actual point of what I was supposed to talk about, but
No, this is exactly the point. I just said, like, what do you hope to get when you're here and why you're here, just to introduce ourselves. That's all. So it's
yeah,
really nice.
I'm
Thank you.
I'm hoping to just and to get my brain, my mind to keep right back on keep the main thing because I am down rabbit holes today. So bring me back, Jiva.
Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to get you there where you got to
that's
go.
that's what I need. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thanks. Thanks for coming, Dana. I love you. Thank you for being here. Daniel.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, I am Daniel from Canada, in recovery from addiction. just popped on. I actually can't stay, unfortunately. I was gonna listen into the beginning. I have to go to work soon, but I was just gonna listen to the beginning. I heard the recording of the first, it was may have been the first one, and it was a great discussion. Was very, very interesting discussion. So yeah, I was just listening in here, if that's okay.
That's totally fine. And I'm really glad you're here, Daniel. Welcome. And
Thank you.
Mark,
Hey, good morning. Hare Krishna,
good
Chief.
morning. Haribol, Mark.
You know, I would really like to just get to the point where I can understand that, like, I don't have to feel anything. Like, when I practice, when, with any part of it, like, I'm as indoctrinated into the American culture as anybody else that, like, my spirituality is not like the carbonic gumball machine. We're like, oh, I want something new. Like, let me try this today. And then expect to like get something out of it. Because I really feel that like I have this like want to like get something. Like, if I do this, something's gonna happen. And I think that I really believe that just like it's happening, meaning like nothing's gonna happen because it's like happening right now. Maybe if I just
Mm,
keep up with this, like it'll be all right. That's really what it is. It's kind of just like this thought or kind of fear-driven thing, like, will it be all right? Heck if I know. Um, but I don't know. Krishna and Vedanta, it's not a vending machine. Like I heard that this week, and it like really hit me, and I was just like, so much of my life at times it's just been like that Carvana car gumball machine where I'm just like, oh, this one looks good. Like, let me push the buttons until I can get this thing that I want. Like, let me play around with that for a while. And maybe just kind of just stick with this.
okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you for being here. I'm glad you showed up. And I'm going to ask everyone to do me a little bit of a favor, if it's possible, for those that it's possible for, to turn your cameras on so I don't have to talk to a bunch of black boxes with names. It makes it way more fun for me and interesting and interactive. If you can't, that's understandable. And if you can, I encourage you to do so. All right. So, to no further ado, for those who came in later and don't know the name of this game, it is the gap between what we know and how we live. And I find this is something that, each month I pick a topic. And I've been really chewing on this topic. I've been doing I do some podcasts. So I do a podcast called the Bhakti Recovery Podcast. And in that podcast, I also pick apart topics, themes, or something that's just sort of that either I'm grappling with or something that I notice in my direct, I don't know, area or friend circle, or notice in other people or notice in myself. And I find that there is so much knowledge and there's so much content in the gap. So I would love to ask everyone right now, and it's really, really important. Let me just set the scene first. We all have some sort of set of something that we find good for us, without it being a vending machine, as I love. Mark, that was great. But something that we know, let's say, whether it be, I'm going to give you a few examples, whether it be a decision that we want to have more spiritual practice in our lives. And we know, knowledge wise, intellectually, that when we read the Bhagavad Gita daily, or when we go to meetings daily, or when we do something in order to take steps towards that direction, we know that that's going to be good for us for whatever reason, whether it's sort of like a reward system or not, but it's something that will inspire us. It will lift us up to higher consciousness. And that's the knowledge we know. We have that either through experiential knowledge, or intellectual knowledge, but whatever that is. So that's one situation of what we know, right? Another situation is somebody says something, maybe you're hot-tempered. Maybe we have a hot temper, and we have some certain triggers, and we know that we shouldn't be acting a certain way or reacting in a certain way, but we continue to do so. So I'm going to ask you guys a question, and I really want you to think about this and pick something, because this is really important. Because if we don't have a certain example of something, we're going to be talking very vaguely. So take a moment now, and have you ever clearly known what was right and still struggled to live what that was? Whether it be a small example, whether it be I'm not taking seconds at dinner or prasad, I'm not, and you did anyway, or I'm not going to be lazy today again, or I'm going to go for a walk today and you don't do it. Whatever it is, pick something right now, and I'm going to give you a minute. And I really want to see, please raise your hands when you have that situation in your head. Just raise your virtual hand or your hand. Actually, just send a thumbs up or a hand raise so that I can continue. I see Mark has a thumbs up. Dana gave me a thumbs up. Daniel's given me a thumbs up. Parikshit gave me a thumbs up. Alex has given me a thumbs up. Yadava. Wait, what did Yadava say? What did you say, Yadava? Even Tinika gave me a thumbs up. Y'all are on point today. Oh, Yadava wants me to repeat. Yadava, so pick a certain situation in your life where you continue to not choose what's best for you. Whether it's today I'm going to read the Gita and I don't read the Gita. Whether it's today I'm going to 16 rounds and you don't do the 16 rounds. Whether it's I know I always get angry when somebody pokes around in that one area that I don't want to be poked around in, and then you lose your temper. So pick that. And when you have that, it's important that you have that. All right. Everybody has it. Okay. So we know that, I mean, most people know, we all know a lot, and we all know what we could be doing. And we know we have the information, but we also know, or do we not know, that the information is not transformation. Information is not transformation. Information is not transformation. It is the beginning of the action of transformation. Once we have that information, we can put that into action, right? The struggle is not really because of lack of knowledge. Would you guys agree with that? Would you agree that most of the struggle is because we just can't get over something that we have in our lives? Yeah. And anyway, we can't change anything if we don't know it. We have to know it first. So we have to be self-reflective to a certain degree. If we don't know it, then we can't change it. So that gap always shows up between your values and your actions, right? We have these values, and then the proof is in the pudding. That's what we say in the States. The proof is in the pudding. Spiritual understanding and daily behavior, it's surrender and control. So, what is it? Let me ask, would somebody like to share one of those things with us here to be intimate and to talk about that one thing? Because then we can work with that. And this is really important in a group dynamic. We work together in a group dynamic, and it takes some chutzpah on you guys, a little bit of bravery to bring that up. Just unmute yourself. Come on, be brave, guys.
I can share.
All right, Alex.
For me, it's the consistency or total inconsistency with how I start my days. I know that if I like wake up 2 or 3 hours earlier than like the first thing that I have to go be at, it's much easier for me to, I'm not even sure like what I need to be doing in the morning, whether it's go work out or go on a walk or make breakfast or like something for myself in the morning to set the day. I don't really have a morning routine. I tend to like just wake up or like kind of putz around and then just go to the first thing that is my first obligation in like the day to start the day.
Okay, so would that like lead up to frustration? Like so what you do is you just snooze. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, it's kind of like a like, oh, I wish I would have gotten up earlier, or like I'll just kind of hang around until I'm obligated to go somewhere instead of like kind of taking action with that time in the morning. And so yeah, I guess
it's okay. Sorry.
I get frustrated with myself for sure.
So what do you think leads up to that? What do you think? I mean, there are all kinds of things. We have our conditionings, we have fears around things, we have attachments to certain things, we have survival mechanisms, we have ego, we have our habit energies, right? We want comfort over growth, lack of consistent practice. What do you think that that comes from?
I think it's avoidance and fear, or an avoidance of fear. My mornings tend to be, I don't know, it's like the hardest part of my day for sure. And I think it's like safe to just stay in like a freeze mode in the morning. So I know it has to do with fear, but maybe lack of autonomy. I'm not quite sure.
Okay. Is there something, does anybody relate to this? Does everybody relate to this? Yeah. Yeah, totally. See? All right. So here we're getting somewhere. And I relate to this very much as well. I found for myself, and this is really the most important thing, is that we intellectually understand surrender before we actually practice. We intellectually understand that we're doing something that's maybe not helpful before we actually start to probably do something about it. And it can start with the smallest of things and go up to the biggest of things. The goal anyway, the goal is it's not perfection, because if we have it with one area, we'll probably have it in other areas of our lives. But on the flip side of that coin, we have things where we're really like very responsible with, and we take care of business and we don't think twice about it. Our goal here also in this in these sessions is mostly about honesty and willingness, because that's where it starts. We got to get honest. If we're not honest with ourselves, we can do all the Gita classes we want. We can go to all the meetings we want. We can do all the things that we want. But if we don't start really practicing our intellect, it's not going to do anything for us. There's a time where we realize, and then there's a time where we sit with that realization and we think about the realization and we talk about the realization and we give that realization a lot of energy, but we do not, when we refuse to put those realizations in action is when it can start to get monotonous and frustrating. So I would like for everyone to ask themselves, for their own situations right now, what do you think keeps you stuck in that gap between knowing what you should do and then how it really looks, what you're doing? So for example, Alex is saying not getting up in the morning. I don't know what Yadavaz is or whoever else is here. Think about it. Could it be fear? Is it control? Is it comfort? Are you resentful? Do you have a lack of trust? Are you expecting immediate results and you don't get the results? Are you resigned? It's not going to work anyway. Are you rebellious? I don't want to do that. What else do you want from me, life? I'm giving you everything and you want this too. I'm tired. Leave me alone. I'm already chanting my rounds. I'm already doing this. I don't need to do all of that.
I think that for me, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think that it's when there's like things that people have told you and like programmed into your mind that you have to like rewire, and like limiting beliefs that get in the way, that you have to I have to, excuse me, really work hard to be like, no, I'm not going to listen to that. I need to go this way, and um, trust myself, and trust in, giving things a try. Because we always talk about that. Like, people can tell you about what the taste of honey is like, but if you don't taste it, you're never going to know, and being able to believe that, hey, I can try this. And if it doesn't go well, I can try something else and it's okay. Because in my past that wasn't okay. You weren't allowed to make mistakes, you weren't allowed to, you had to be super perfect and everything. So I think for me it's like giving my own self a chance and believing in myself. So yeah, and not letting those limiting beliefs get in the way when I want to take chances and take chances on me. So I don't know if that made sense.
That makes a lot of sense, Dana, and I'm really happy you brought that up, because I think that's something that we all have. We have, and that really goes under the umbrella of conditioning. And we're conditioned by narratives that were told to us that we have deeply accepted into our lives. Narratives of what we can and we cannot do, what we should and we should not be doing. Especially narratives that don't align with our dharmic way of life, especially those kind of narratives. I think those are very, very important ones. And I think a lot of us can understand through perhaps, people of the Indian bodied. I know how I know how it is for a lot of the typical Indian families. The sons have to be doctors, dentists, IT guys, And there's that, this is what you have to be doing to please your family. And maybe that's not our dharmic thing. So these are conditionings that come from our family, that come from our traditions, conditionings that have come from maybe negative experiences that we've experienced. Some of us have conditionings that we've had that are extremely negative conditionings. Some of us have had in the Western world, or even in the Eastern world, doesn't matter. Some of us have had people telling us our whole life that we were ugly or, got teased and as a kid for some weird body part that we have, like I know that when I was a kid, they used to call me string bean legs because I was so skinny. And what resulted in that is that I never wear shorts ever, ever, ever. And, things like that. So we get conditioned. And these things do limit us. And so that's a reason, but it is not an excuse, because once we know that we're working under conditioning, and I think every single person knows, everyone here either knows about the Bhagavad Gita or recovery in a 12-step way. And I think everybody knows that there are certain things, just like in the, if we're talking about the Bhagavad Gita, and we're talking about Arjuna's journey. Bye, Daniel. Thanks for coming. His process of surrender, his process of saying his whole life he was conditioned. He was he was of royalty, Arjuna. In the greatest family, he knew everything. He was trained the best warrior, everything. And he struggled. He struggled so hard in the Gita until he finally had trust. And he had to do all those things that he didn't want to do. He wanted to become a yogi, to live in a cave, because he didn't want to have to kill his family. He didn't want to have to fight. He didn't want to have to do all of those things. And it's often like that with us, maybe on a smaller scale, but it's the same principle. The principle is we have narratives going on in our heads, but we have the intellect to know. Generally, we have the intellect to know what's right and what's wrong and what we should be doing and what we shouldn't be doing. And that gap of when we should be doing something and we don't do it, and we choose either a softer, easier way, we choose something that's just not as strenuous, or we choose something that's not going to empower us. And that's the most important thing. We're going to choose something that's not going to be conducive to higher thinking, a better consciousness, and a higher level of communication with a higher power, with your community, with yourself. So I want you all really to think about right now, what is keeping you stuck in that gap? So I'm going to give you a moment. And I would encourage you actually to get a piece of paper and a pen, or just write it on your phone or whatever it is. Think of that situation that I encourage you to think of at the beginning. And just write just a word or two, or a sentence, or however it is that you want to be able to explain it. What keeps you stuck in the gap? Is it fear? Is it comfort? Is it resentment? Is it lack of trust? Exhaustion, maybe? Control? Resignation? So I'm going to give you a moment. And then when you have that, please raise your hand so that I can see when you're done. Okay. Is there anyone here who'd care to share? Alex, you were the brave one, so I'm gonna let you off the hook this time. Unless you want to. If no one else does, I'll call you out. Come on, be brave. Really, I encourage you to be brave. It's the only way. No one?
May I?
It's
Oh, who's speaking? Two people at once. Who was it?
Yeah, me and Mark.
Okay, then we'll do both of you. All right. Yadava, you start, and then we're going to go on to Mark.
Okay. It is always about me not trying because of the fear of not being able to make it.
And what that is really a very common one, more common than you think. And I think there's a lot of shame around that. It's shameful to be like, oh, I'm not going to do it anyway because I'm not going to do it anyway. I won't do it right, so I'm not going to do it. And I have more to say about that afterwards. I have more to say about that. Mark, would you like to share yours?
yeah, like not only living up to like some extrinsic value I've got, like these are the things that are in culture, like these are the things that like I should do. We all do these things. Like I value them too. And I am going to be vague about it, I guess, but I think I can do that. Um, and I've got like my own intrinsic reasons, like why I hold that value. Like that's like what makes me unique, like, um, I guess what I mean is like, I value kindness. Other people do too. And so like, give me three reasons why I value kindness. Like I've got my own three reasons and like, that's what makes me unique about it. Then when I don't live up to this like value, um, I'm like just shamed or like, you know, blacked out for it. I'm disregarded. It's like, I don't really know if I'm ever gonna not necessarily make up for it, but it's just like, I can let shit go. Like, yeah, I made a mistake. This kind of thing happens all the time, but um, and it's just like really like expecting that like I'm going to be able to right a wrong, or I'm going to be able to like completely turn this around and be fully accepted like I used to be for it. And it's really, really isolating. Um, that, yeah, you get it. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark. It's important, and I'm glad you shared that. Can I call you out, Alex, and other people just to share, just so that people, I like, sharing is something that might feel funny at first, but it's something that helps others as well to know that and to help yourself as well. So go ahead, Alex.
All right. Mine is a couple things. Fear, lack of trust in myself, maybe some resignation, lack of faith in my own power, the lack of trust in myself. It's like that what I do matters and can have an impact. And I've noticed I really struggle with it. I can show up for other people, but when it's showing up for myself, which I think is rooted in maybe a feeling of worthlessness, it's all masked in some denial, like easier to not try or not look at it. And so I don't have to fail. And I also resonated with like the I won't make it. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Alex. Does anyone else want to share what was on their phone or paper? Yeah, don't worry, Tinika. All good. Oh, for her, it's fear and insecurity. Okay. Interesting. I mean, it's all kind of the same, isn't it? Fear of failure, fear of not being good enough. And what is fear? Fear is lack of faith. And what is faith? Faith is lack of doubt. And what we need to find now is courage. Courage is fear that had said its prayers. Remember that. Courage is fear that has said its prayers. That's a very important statement. So now that we have named these fears and all of that, and in this session, we're, to get behind all those fears, that's a whole nother ball game. What we're trying to do is slowly and simply, in a very small way, is change one small behavior. We don't have to change our whole freaking lives here. We're not talking about that. It starts with the very smallest of things. The most menial of things. Making my bed in the morning. How about that? Knowing that that's really good. People don't think, oh, making the bed is like so big deal. You don't make your bed, but you say all your prayers. You've done your puja. You've done this. You've done all of those things. You've read your Gita. You've chanted your rounds. You've done all this, but then you have a messy bed. Maybe that one thing is really what it takes to get you really in a mood. For me, when I start my day with, I'm waking up, I'm doing the things that are empowering me, which includes making my bed. I don't know how many times I've just not made my bed, knowing that I should, and I know that it's just good. And it's the simplest thing. And it might not be the biggest deal. It might not be a lot of fear in that or anything, but doing that one thing helps me immensely. So what do we do with that gap? What do we do with that? What do we do with that? We know what we should be doing. We know that in that gap lives fear, lives procrastination, lives lack of faith, lives not being enough, and all of that stuff. I think the very first thing is that we stop pretending that that gap is not there. We have to look at that gap and know, okay, there's a gap there. We need to look at it. And we need to learn how to observe it without self-loathing. Without shame, without self-hatred, without loathing. So important. Just look at it. And take smaller practical actions. Just really small practical actions. Like I said, make the bed. You see your shoes are in front of the door completely disorderly. And I'm going to do this after we talk because I know my shoes. I went for a walk today, a really long walk in the woods, and I kicked my shoes off, and my shoes are messy in the hallway right now. There's like 3 pairs of shoes stacked on top of each other in a mess. After this call, I'm going to go and I'm going to put my shoes back where they belong in the shoe shelf, and I'm going to make them neat. Why? Not because it's just something to do. It's because I know that it's the right thing to do. And I know it sounds ridiculous to some people. It isn't. That's where it starts. My relationship to God starts there. It really does. And it's something that I can do. It's so easy to do. And if I do it with the right consciousness, anything is God consciousness. If I'm doing it in the right consciousness, it's all Krishna consciousness. Accountability. What about that? What do we do with that gap? Accountability and support matter in this area. So, I mean, whether it's you're just going to come here once a month, or you're going to go somewhere like the Bhakti Recovery Group, which we have almost 2 meetings every day, or you go to a local group, or you get a friend and you tell them what's going on. You say, this is the gap, my friend. Fear lives in this gap. This lives in this gap. But I want to do this one thing. I want to start to make my bed every day. Can you be my accountability partner? You can just use it in our chat. We have a chat for this group, for the Bhakti Discovery group. We have a chat. You can just put, made my bed today, did the dishes without shame. I know it sounds super ridiculous. It might sound ridiculous. It doesn't to me, though, because that's what saved my life. It really did. And progress, what is it? Well, how do we measure our progress? What does progress mean? It means a succession of action. It comes through repetition. Spiritual knowledge or knowledge of the good must become lived experience, or else it means very little. We can have the best of intentions, but if they're not lived, then they're not lived. You know, there are some practical tools we can use here. We can pause before we react if we're triggered by something. We can start journaling, keeping note of what we're doing. We can seek through prayer, meditation, and chanting. We could take mini inventories during the day, like, okay, all right, I did this, I did that, I procrastinated on this, without judgment, without self-judgment. That's not going to help us. We already have self-judgment on that. We have shame, embarrassment, self-hatred, self-loathing. We have all of that. Leave it. It's not going to be helpful. We can call someone. We can ask for help. Show up consistently for our own sadhana. And we can show up to sadhu sangha, whatever your sangha is. And really one of the most important things is honest self-reflection. So really the key point here is the bridge across the gap is practice. That bridge that you're going to build between what we know and how we live is going to be practice. And whether you think that this is something that's huge in all areas of your life, it starts with the simplest of tasks. Pick one small thing. So let's take a moment again. And I want you to write down one small action that you can realistically take this week to close that gap. All right, we're going to take a couple of minutes. Write one small action. And when you're done, give me the thumbs up. Parikshitas is finished. Everybody take your time. Don't worry. Take your time. Alex is done. Yadava's done. Tinika's with her kids. Dana's driving. Oh, Dana. I hope you're not driving and typing at the same time. Mark, are you still around? All right. So again, I'm going to ask you guys to be brave. And I want to hear, actually, I'm not going to just call, I'm going to call on every one of you. I'm going to call each and every one of you, and I want to hear the one little thing that you're going to do, unless it's totally private, and that's okay. You could say, no, I don't want to, and then I'll fully accept it. Don't worry about it. But I'm going to ask you to do so, and if you don't want to, that's also okay. Look at Yadava turn his camera off. Yadava's like, I'm out of here. All right, Alex, you're first, then Yadava, then Mark, and then I'll say the rest after. So I'm just doing it in the way I see it here on my screen.
All right. Mine is pretty much literally like make my bed, but set an alarm and get up no matter what at the same time, even if I don't know what to do with my morning, and even if I have nowhere to be.
Okay. Let me ask you something though quickly.
Yeah.
So when you don't know what to do, what do you mean by that? You want to wake up 2 hours and you don't have a plan?
Yeah, that's kind of last year it was like sometimes I struggled with like brushing my teeth and in the morning, and I can do that now when I get up, but like yeah, I don't have a morning routine. So I have to kind of build it, I think. But I think it starts with getting up kind of at a consistent time.
Okay. May I comment on that a little bit, or is that
Yes,
would you rather do that?
please.
Okay. I would suggest, that would just be my suggestion, that when you do get up, have something to do, something
Okay.
simple. And it doesn't have to be one thing. Have like an array of 5 things to choose from.
Okay.
Like I can do this, I can chant a little, or I can, I don't know, play some guitar, play some music, hum, dance, read the Gita, read a daily reflection. I like to start my day every morning with a daily reflections. So choose a daily reflection. I think lots of them actually, you can text me privately.
Okay.
You still have my number, right?
I believe so. I have your WhatsApp.
Yeah. So just text me privately on WhatsApp. And maybe if you'd like, after like in the next few days, we can think of something that you can choose from if you don't want to do it alone.
Okay.
I can help you through that.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right. Yadava.
Mine is pretty much the same as Alex. I'll also make up my bed because it's 8:30 here and my bed is still messy. And I'll try to be productive from now, and I'll try not to do procrastination because I procrastinate a lot. And I'll try to be productive in my work and my sadhana, of course.
Fantastic, Yadava. I love that. May I also make a suggestion?
Please do.
Just start with your bed. When we have these things, because I know from my own experience, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to change my life in that way, it becomes too much. If you're generally a procrastinator, everyone generally has this thing where they're like, okay, I'm a this or I'm a that. We identify with that. That's the narrative, right? I'm a procrastinator, whether that is fear, whatever it is, whatever that narration is that tells us that we are a procrastinator and then we procrastinate. That is a huge order to fill, to change. I'll stop procrastinating. I think you would agree that if you could have stopped procrastinating, you would have done it already a long time ago. So forget that narrative and just make your bed and see what happens after that. Stop and just do that. And know that when you make your bed, it's the simplest of simplest things because it chisels one little thing away from procrastination. You wake up and you make your bed.
Thank
Yeah?
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Mark, then Tinika, then Dana.
That was the example I used, was just like living up to my values. And when I haven't been kind to somebody, worst case scenario, still paying the price for it. Like, it's a lot deeper than, oh, somebody won't be my friend anymore. It's way deeper than that. But I think that's a pretty good analog for it. Somebody else gets hurt, but it hurts myself too. And like, just being nice to people is a really simple way for me to just take care of myself. I get through the day with like fewer burdens.
So how does that look?
Yeah,
How are you going to be nice to people?
It's just practice all the time.
So let me give you an example. I'm somebody on the street. I'm leaving a supermarket and you're coming in and I don't hold the door open for you. I let it slam in your face.
I've just got to open the door myself. Ultimately, like, I'm here to take care of myself. There's nobody else here to do it for me. That's a really important thing for me right there. Because I could just be like, I could say to myself in my own head, what the F was that about? Or I could externalize the internal dialogue somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Or I have that choice to just be like, I can just catch the door. Because I really don't know what somebody else is going through. Maybe I'm invisible.
How old are you? Not how old are you? Where do you live?
I live in Kansas.
Okay. So people are generally not like in New York City. So.
Oh, no, the people here are Midwest nice.
Yeah, exactly. So it wouldn't be weird if you greeted somebody on the street passing by, right?
Oh, yeah, it's not. Yeah, you're
Okay.
correct.
So could you possibly think of greeting 3 people a day that you see if you do see 3 people? Just saying hello
Yeah,
in a very kind way, or just
yeah, I
picking
do.
one thing nice to do and do it consciously.
Oh, I totally have to do this. Like 2 days ago, I was in the grocery store and like, I just had to wait my turn, and I get to the cashier and I'm just like, I'm so glad you're here. Like, not so you can check my groceries out, but like, because she's a really warm human being and reflects that back to people. And I have to tell people that I love them, like even people that I just meet. And there's people that don't get that, and that's all right. I mean, I hear you. I just have to, when I said, like, you're like, what can I do? And I'm like, I have to just keep doing what I'm doing.
Okay.
Like, just practice being nice and like serving people and serving myself that way, because otherwise the day can take like just a really stupid turn. And then that turn could just lead to like a really bad hour or a really bad day,
So
and it's, yeah.
do you do that consciously? Are you like, okay, I'm going to be nice consciously. I'm going to consciously
Yeah.
be nice to this person. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
That's great. Good.
Like, if I'm sitting in a parking lot, like, I have to tell myself that like I have to be a nice person when I go in this place. If I want to,
Mm.
if I want to take off my nice person hat when I get back in my car, I can choose to do that. But other people really I don't really know what the word is, but they don't deserve to. People deserve to just like have other people like treat them well, even when maybe, I don't know. I'm kind of talking in circles now.
It's fine. I think we get what you're saying. And I think that that's nice. So you're going to make conscious efforts on a daily basis to be nice to people.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to keep doing that. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate you. And Tinika, she's going to try to read at least one verse a day, as this also forces me to slow down a bit. Yeah, Tinika. Wait, let me look. Everyone, here we go. Try to read at least one verse a day. It forces me to slow down a bit, and I'm generally opposite from a procrastinator. Yeah. Tinika's type A personality. I know her very well. So, that's great. I think that's really good to read one verse a day and to slow down. All right. That's like a step in the right direction. We all have our natures that we grapple with. Everybody knows about the three modes of material nature, right? Does everybody know about that? Okay. And I think our lives are a constant grappling between the three, between tamas, rajas, and sattva. And when we're grappling with all of those three modes of material nature, one of them is generally going to be the dominant one, either in for the hour or for the day. I mean, I rarely have one day where one mode of nature is completely dominant. I don't know if I've ever had a day like that, where I'm completely rajasic or completely in the mood of goodness, in the mode of goodness, or in the mode of, I don't know if I've, in the total mode of tamas, maybe when I was, younger, using a lot of drugs and doing really bad things in life. I think perhaps then. But, it started with one simple thing and grew from there. All right. Dana, is there one little thing you want to do today? Or the next days? One little thing?
Throw it in the chat, but I'm gonna try to start my day with a gratitude list and just a random verse so that my mind is headed in the right direction as soon as I start the day,
Yeah.
rather than the many catastrophizing places it goes. So I'm really, really going to try that seriously because I need to really keep focused forward, not back. So thank you for this. And thanks for
Oh, that's fantastic.
making us do this and not just oh yeah, that's flowery thing I'm gonna do. So thanks.
Thank you. I like that. Especially starting the day, I want to talk about that gratitude list, Dana. Thank you for bringing that up. That's so important. Putting forth what we're grateful for, because when we're looking at just the empty spaces and we're only looking at the gap. So this is the thing, guys. I'm not telling you to look at the gap all the time because that'll depress the hell out of us. We're just looking at the gap all the time. But it's important to recognize the gap. That gap could be tamas, it could be rajas, but we want to choose sattvic behavior. And we don't want to dwell in the gap. We just want to be able to be aware of it, because that gap, and if we're aware of that gap and we do things to change that, the gap gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And this is so important. Just so, so important. All right. Parikshit, would you like to share? Give him a moment. Govardhan Echo Village, the whole village. Would the whole village like to share? Okay. And I don't know who Her Grace Devi Dasi is, but welcome anyway. I know you just joined and we're just ending. But welcome anyway. Wait a minute, someone wrote me a letter? No, okay. Okay. So I want to give you guys really kind of a couple of, before we wrap this up, I'll give you a couple of things, and then maybe if you'd like to share a little bit of feedback of what you took with you and what you're going to take with you on this, with you after this session. This gap that we were talking about, it does become a teacher. It really shows us things. It shouldn't condition us and keep us, locked up in that gap, but it should become a mirror. Awareness is always the beginning, and it's actually never the end, the awareness. So it's something that we begin to be aware of, and that's when the journey starts. And this is how we grow. We grow because we are honest, we're willing, and we do repeated actions in the mode of goodness. And, learning this and doing this, and by doing these actions, we're really going to empower our spiritual life, because it is by practice and not performance, right? So I want you also to know that you guys are great just how you are. And Krishna has given every single one of us our own specific prescription in this world, with our own conditioning, our own karma. Everyone is different and perfect in their own way. And this work is not trying to become as good as somebody else that we think somebody else is. It is learning how to live what we already know and with who we are. And it's really important. It's really, really important part of it. We're all going to be grappling with those three modes. And it's not all going to look the same. But we should have faith and trust that we're exactly where we're supposed to be, learning exactly what we need to learn in order to free ourselves from these conditionings with Krishna's help, and with the group's help, and with community's help, with everything. Right. Would anyone care to share anything that they'd like to, that they're going to take with them, and then we can close out this wonderful session? I really enjoyed this session. It was a really great session, and you guys you made this session because you participated, and it was an exchange, and I'm really, really proud of you guys for just stepping out of your comfort zones.
Hare Krishna, it's Mark. I'm so glad you just said that. We're all just trying to live with ourselves, and we've got the support of other people and total reliance on the Lord. Krishna, it's living in this existence, like that's just like, it's kind of like living on the tip of that needle all the time, and it's like trying to like balance like that. Like, can't remember that all the time, but thanks for saying it. It's really big deal. Hare Krishna.
All right, Paul. Thank you, Mark. I'm so glad you came. Anyone else have a takeaway they want to share?
Hare Krishna. I
Hare
really liked the
Krishna.
session, Jivaji, and there are a lot of takeaways for me. I made a few quotes too, and the part I liked the most was faith is lack of, fear is lack of faith, faith is lack of doubt, and what we need is courage, and courage is what we call out, the fear we call out in our prayers. So that was a thing which struck me like very hardly, and I really loved the lecture. Thank you.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you, Yadava. I really appreciate you, and I hope to see you next month as well.
I actually had the same takeaway. That quote really struck me. Fear is lack of faith.
And what feeds that lack of faith is lack of action. It's food for it. If we don't if we don't partake in life on life's terms, especially in our spiritual life, then it will feed that fear. And I'm not saying this to say like we're in a fear-based faith here. It has nothing to do with that. Krishna gives us everything. It's like it's not Krishna. We don't need to be afraid of Krishna. We need to be afraid of our own stupid thoughts. Anyone else? No? Okay. All right, my good people. Oh, here. It was comforting to share and to hear from others. Thank you, says Tanika. Dana says, it's nice to have non-judgmental space where we can be real and still be held and accepted and supported. Yes, thank you, Dana. And Mark, what was your definition of courage? Courage is fear that has said its prayers. All right, my friends. What a great session. I'm so happy that the people who are here are supposed to be here. And if you were here and you heard something that you was helpful for you, I encourage you to spread the word to others. Either talk about what you learned here and share that with other people, because it's a gift to share with other people and help other people on their way and on their journey and help yourself. And keep coming here and try to, integrate yourself with the community. We have who's not on the WhatsApp chat here? Alex, are you in the WhatsApp chat? On the Bhakti Discovery WhatsApp chat? No, huh? Okay, I'll send you the link. I think I still have your number as well, so. Okay. Then I'm looking forward to seeing you next month. Also I think it's the second Sunday of every month for these meetings. And no, I do a podcast if you want to jump in and listen to the podcast. It comes out every Monday or Tuesday, depending on where I'm at. Sometimes I can't do it because I need a certain computer to load it up. And if I'm traveling, it's difficult. But it's usually every Monday. And you can find us anywhere where podcasts are given. We have a thing called the Bhakti Recovery Group, and that is for people who want to dive in more into looking at Krishna consciousness through a 12-step lens. And we're not talking about just alcoholics and addicts. We're talking about people who are codependent or people who have other challenges, emotional challenges, and anartas. If everybody knows what an anarta is, I welcome you also to come to all those meetings. Even if we do read literature from things like Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous or Codependents Anonymous or Adult Child from Dysfunctional Families Anonymous, it doesn't mean you have to identify as one of those things to come to a meeting. We always, all of our meetings are open, and we encourage everyone to come, even if you've never had a drink in your life. I'm sure you've had to think. So we always switch out drinking for thinking if you're if you're not identifying as an alcoholic. Yeah. I will say goodbye and thank you all for coming. Really, thank you so, so much. And I'll see you next month. Keep you posted. Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Bol.